All right, everybody, we're going to take a look at this problem that we have here dealing with fractions. Okay, so we're going to take a quick read through it, and then we're going to look for some keywords that might help us determine what operation we're going to be working with here. So it says, 1/3 of the cars in the parking lot are silver. There are 165 cars in the lot. How many cars are silver? All right, so key word for us to pay attention to is this word right here, of. So when we think about that, we immediately start to think about multiplication. 1/3 of another number, okay? And the reason is that if we think about problems with decimals, for example, we think of, say 20% of 100. Okay, and that is we're talking about how would we calculate that out? Well, there's what we would do is we would take 100 and we would multiply that by 0.2 and to get our answer of 20. So we're going to use this exact same method to calculate out how many cars are in fact silver in the lot. So if we just take this now and we say, well, we're going to take 165 and we are going to multiply it by 1/3. We know that 165 is the same as saying 165 over 1. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to simply say, well, 165 times 1 is 165. 1 times 3 is 3. And now what we have to do is we have to reduce this improper fraction down. And remember what we said, this line right here, it means divide. So really what we're doing here is we're saying 165 divided by 3. And all we have to do is just pull up our trusty little calculator here. 165 divided by 3 equals 55. Gives us our final answer of 55. Okay, let's check out another example here. Okay, question 3C says that Shayna has 3/8 of a cup of yogurt. She has 3/8 of a cup of yogurt. And it also says that she needs 3/4 of a cup of yogurt, 3/4 of a cup of yogurt to make a smoothie. So this is how much she needs. And then the question is, how much more yogurt does she need? Well, this is what she has. This is what she needs. And whenever you hear the word, how much more yogurt does she need, I'm immediately thinking of the word subtraction. Okay? And a little hint on these is that sometimes we get confused because we're looking at it as fractions. But if you actually were to just ignore the fractions and just plug in a couple of random whole numbers in there, I think it would make a lot more sense. Here's my example. Let's say we're going to ignore 3/8 and we'll say that the equation says that she has 1 cup of yogurt and that she needs 3 cups of yogurt in order to make a smoothie. How much more yogurt does she need? Well, we would simply just be like, all right, 3 minus 1 equals 2. So she would need 2 cups of yogurt, no problem. Well, just because of fractions, it doesn't change that principle at all. So what we're going to do is we are going to simply take 3/4 of a cup and we're going to subtract 3/8 of a cup. 3/4 minus 3/8. And whenever we're doing addition or subtraction with fractions, we have to make sure that our bottoms are the same, our denominators are the same. In this case, our lowest common denominator is right here, it's 8. So we're going to multiply this by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So now we have 6/8 minus 3/8, and we are left with a total of 3/8. She requires 3/8 a cup of yogurt in order to make her smoothie. All right, we'll take a look at one more here. Okay, on 3D it says part of a pizza was shared equally between two friends. Each friend got 5/12 of the whole pizza. How much pizza was shared? Well, we know that both members got 5/12. So if we can imagine for a second that we have a pizza here, notice a rectangular pizza, and it was divided into 12 equal shares. Each person would get 5 shares. So if we imagine that person 1 got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and person 2 got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's easy to see that there are clearly 10/12 of that pizza that has been shared. But the way that we would do that is because we know that both of them are getting the exact same amount, we can just simply take this and multiply it by 2. Oh, my hand's off a little bit. Let's do that again so we can see a little clearer picture here. Imagine for a second that it's 5/12 times 2. And we look at this, 5 times 2 is 10 over 12, and we know that that reduces down to, reduces down to 5, 6. So between the two of them, they shared 5/6 of the pizza. All right. All right, let's take a look at the next problem here. The next problem states that Chad mixed 2/3 of a can of yellow paint. So he had 2/3 of a can of yellow paint, and he mixed it with 1/4 of a can of white paint. Okay, so let's imagine for a second that this is the 1 can of paint, and it says here that 2/3 of it is yellow. So I know this isn't in yellow, but if you imagine we divided that in thirds, that would be 2/3 of the can. And then the other can, we can imagine for a second, it's divided into fourths. Okay? He has 1/4 of a can. And what they're going to do is they're going to put the 1 can into the other, mix it together. Well, to me, you're adding paint to a can, so that's the operation that we're going to be using. So we simply write the equation 2/3 plus 1/4. And we realize, well, first we have to make sure our bottoms are the same. And our lowest common denominator in this case will be 12. So we're going to multiply this side by 4 and this side by 3. And we're going to end up with 8/12 plus, fix that, plus 3/12 to get 11/12. And that is our answer. Okay, that's questions 3 and 4 on this video, and I'm going to do questions 5 and 6 on the next video.